Hi and welcome back to the next episode of Up the Shed. Nice little project this episode. I've been asked to make what's called a reaction plate for a caliper piston return tool. So as usual I've done a little drawing, so we'll get you into the bench and we'll explain exactly what we're going to do.
Okay, well, so here's my drawing. So I originally took some dimensions of the gap in here. So as you can see, this plate has got a slot cut out which fits in here. So as it slots in there, this is then the front part of the caliper. And there's obviously the rear part where your piston would be, and then you just turn this to get your piston to return back, so you can install new brake pads. So I've drawn this out and I've made a couple of amendments to it, because the original plate I believe was only 6mm thick. Now I don't have any 6mm plates, so I'm going to use a 10mm plate, and then what we're going to do, we're going to cut an extra groove in it. So as you can see here, we've got the 10mm here. We're going to do a 4mm shoulder. We've got a 23mm slot. So what we'll do is we'll cut this out to, and most probably mill it to size, dimensionally, length and width, and then we'll find the center and or find the center of this hole, I should say, and then put it in the lathe. We'll drill and bore the hole, and then we'll drill and bore the shoulder, and then what that'll allow me to do is then I can put it in the mill and then just literally slot this out, or I can put it in the saw or do whatever, grind this out, and then we can mill out the shoulder as such. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. Nice easy project for me. This was sent to me by one of my close friends. I think his father either lost or bent the plate that was there, so he can't use it anymore, so we'll make him a new one. So yeah, so what I'll do is I'll find a bit of material and I'll bring you back then. So as you can see, we've got the plate set up in the mill. We're just over length. Length isn't really critical, neither is the width, to be honest, but I've got 110mm here just over, so I'm just going to mill this edge just to make it nice and square to the other two machine faces. And then off camera what I'm going to cut 20mm off of the width, because it's currently 80, I need it 60, and then we'll put it back in the mill the long edge, and then while we're here we'll change the milling cutter out for a drill chuck and a drill bit, centre bit, and we'll find the centre of this and drill that out, just so we've got a point to use when we're in the forge jaw. So yeah, let's get cracking. Right, well, as you can see, I've dropped the table a bit. We've now got the drill chuck in and a wobbler in here, a wiggler, so we can find the centre. So we'll find the centre across here, and then we'll find the centre of this plate. I've got a half function on the DRO, so it makes it nice and easy, so it doesn't matter what size this is, I don't need to work anything out. We'll just use it until it stops spinning and kicks off, and then we'll crack on from there. So let's get it done. Okay, so that's now on centre, so we're just going to pop a small hole in there, and then that will give us a place to be able to, once we get it in the four jaw chuck, we'll be able to centre it out. Okay, well, as you can see, we've got the four jaw set up in the lathe, and what I'm using is basically two centres, or yeah, two dead centres. So I've got an MT3 and MT2, and using the centre hole that we originally drilled, we can quite easily get this on centre. So if I rotate the chuck, we can see that we're only sort of 0.01 of a millimetre out. So I think that's for what we're doing, that's good enough. So I'll get this all removed and we'll start drilling and boring that centre hole. Okay, so just got to take this out to 23mm and then we're good to set the shoulder. Okay, so I'll quickly change the battery there, it nearly died, so we are currently at 29.2. I just want that to be 30, so again we'll just bring that out just to its nominal 30mm. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so all I need to do now is just get some lines drawn, mark this back out to cut the slot out from one side, and then we'll get back into the milling machine to do obviously this feature straight out and clean up the cut edge for the internal slot, and then it's just really just going to round the edges off and done. So I'll see you back at the milling machine. Okay, well we're sat up in the mill. I've flipped over, so the shoulder, the actual shoulder we're going to cut is on the back side of this at the moment. So I'm just going to take these two sides down to get our 23mm initial hole that we need, slot, and we'll just mill this away to get to that, both sides, and then we'll flip this piece over and then mill the shoulder to give clearance on the part. So let's crack on. Okay, so we're going to lock the quill at the cut depth that we placed in there earlier, and we're just going to do the same process again, just mill the sides out until we get that relief that we need, and then we can do a quick test fit. Perfect. Happy days. So all that's left for me to do is get the burrs, deburr the edges obviously, and then I'm just going to round over all of these corners. I must do that on the grinder. So I'll round them off and get this all cleaned up off camera, and then I'll bring you back to the bench. Okay guys, well that's it. I was going to round the edges of this off and put a 5mm radius on them, but I've just spoken to my friend that this is for, and he's saying it's not really necessary. He just wants it back because he's got some brake pads on his car that he wants to sort out. So for those of you that don't know, basically the piston return tool is for the use on calipers. So what you do is once you take your brake pads out, obviously your piston that drives the brake pad against the disc is normally still out. So what you do is you put this where your outside pad is, you slip this tool in there, and then you use this to then drive. Once you've released the pressure on the actual system, you can then use this to push the piston back, fit your new brake pads, pump your pedal a couple of times so they come out to where they're meant to be. So that's all it is really. As I say, it should have only been, I think the actual ones you can buy with the tool are 6mm, but 10mm plate should work perfectly, and that slots in there really well. So all that's left for me to do is let my friend know that it's done, and he can come and pick it up. So fantastic little project for today. So all done. Well, that's the end of this week's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed coming along for the ride to watch me make that reaction plate for that piston return tool for a friend of mine. Hopefully now he can get his brake pads done on his car. As always guys, please stay safe, take care, many thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.